Hai, Assalamu Alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin. Wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Rabbi syrah li sadri wa yassir li amri. Wa hlul nuqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Respected professors, associate professors, doctors, teachers, students, and all dear audience, thank you for staying with us, ladies and gentlemen, respected audience. Please stay tuned. We will continue our conference today with the first plenary session with the title of Proctoring Examination. And once again, for those who just joined us, welcome to the new Academia Learning Innovation NALI 2021 with the theme Humanizing Artificial Intelligence in Education. My name is Firdaus. I will be your moderator for this session. And for your information, NALI 2021 is organized by Universiti Teknologi Malaysia through UTM Academic Leaderships and School of Chemical and Energy Engineering in collaboration with Jabatan Pendidikan Negeri Johor and Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia. Before we begin, a friendly reminder to all our respected audience, the attendance link will be posted in the comment section during the session. Please fill in the attendance to be eligible for the certificate. And you need to fill in the attendance for every session, not only once, okay? If you have any comments or question or you need clarification, please write them down in the comment section. Okay, I will read them during the Q&A session later. Okay, in this session, our respected speaker will be sharing on proctoring examination. Our recent experience dealing with the pandemic has seen our education system transits to online-based learning. One of the major concerns for the higher learning institution is the academic integrity of online assessment. University nowadays are looking towards the implementation of e-proctoring as part of an assessment system to ensure academic honesty and integrity. Okay, this session will highlight the technology that can be used for e-proctoring and also human factors associated with proctoring. Okay, our distinguished speaker will address the issues related to the motivation that leads students to engage in academic dishonesty and student e-proctoring experience. Concerns on the ethics and efficacy of the e-proctoring system will also be highlighted. Okay, dear audience, okay, with us today, we have a distinguished speaker, Associate Professor in Senior, Dr. Hayati Abdullah. She will be sharing with us today her expertise and experience in proctoring examination. Doctor, how are you?
Assalamu Alikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
Alhamdulillah, I'm doing well. Thank you, Dr. Firdaus.
Alhamdulillah, thank you. Okay, before I pass the floor to Dr. Hayati, she seems very enthusiastic now. Please allow me to introduce her brief background. Okay, I believe most of us here have known Dr. Hayati. Okay, Dr. Hayati is an engineer by qualification and a teacher by passion. Okay, she has more than 35 years of experience educating mechanical engineers. Okay, Dr. Hayati received many awards for her passion and commitment to teaching and engineering. Among others, she was the first recipient of UTM's Excellence in Teaching Award. She also the first recipient from UTM to receive the prestigious National Award of Anugerah Akademik Negara. Okay, Dr. Hayati expertise also been recognized by the Institution of Engineers Malaysia. She has been conferred as the IEM Woman Engineer Award in 2015. She is the former chairman of the Institution of Engineer and the former chairman of the Malaysian Higher Education Teaching and Learning Council, known as Magnetic. In addition, Dr. Hayati was the former director for the Center of Teaching and Learning in UTM. She is the one who chaired UTM NALI program from 2018 until last year. She is currently a member of the National Outcome-Based Learning Committee under the purview of Ministry of Higher Education. So we are very fortunate. We are very fortunate today to share for her to share with us her expertise and experience. I think it's enough for me to talking about her background. It's very distinguished speaker, like I said before. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Associate Professor Dr. Hayati Abdullah. Okay, Doctor, the
Okay.
floor is yours.
Okay, thank you so very much, Dr. Firdaus, for such a kind introduction. I'm so touched by your introduction. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
And also, thank you very much to UTM Lead at the School of Chemical and Energy Engineering for inviting me to speak at NALI 2021. And of course, big thank you to all the audience today, wherever you are. Thank you for tuning in to this session. I appreciate that very much. So, Assalamu Alaikum again, and a very good morning to everyone. I was given the topic proctoring examination. I was given this topic to speak on proctoring examination. It's a very interesting topic, but there are still lots of questions surrounding this this proctoring of examination, especially in this online environment. So that is the reason why, if you look at my first slide, it is actually starting with a question mark, a big question mark. And I'm entitling this talk to be to EProctor or not to EProctor. That is the question. So this will be the topic of my talk today. And there will also be lots of questions. As you go through the presentation today, you'll find that I will be asking a lot of questions as well. Yeah. And so hopefully by the end of this session, we will be able to have an answer. Even if it's not a definite answer, we would have an answer that might lead us in making decisions on whether we would like to utilize e-proctoring or not. Okay, so that will be the presentation of my talk today. Right, so with no ado, I'm going to start first. Right, so let me show you this photograph. Yeah, let me show you this photograph. And I would like to ask you, okay, so the first question here would be, what do you think this is? What environment is this photograph representing? Yeah, just have that in mind. I would like to interact with the audience, but since I'm not able to, so I'm going to have to interact with the kind moderator. So, Dr. Firdaus, what comes to your mind? What is this picture showing? What event is this?
It seems that the students are wearing something that blocking their view, Prof.
Yes.
Oh, the
So
event.
yes,
The event. It could be exam or assessment or quiz.
yeah, yeah. I would agree with you. This would be perhaps an examination. Looking at the seriousness of the
Yeah.
occasion with all the anti-cheating helmets. I'm assuming these are anti-cheating helmets, yeah. So assuming the seriousness of that event, I'm assuming this is like a final examination or a very important examination. So you're right there, Dr. Firdaus. So if this is an examination, why do we still rely on final examination? Why do we have examination? Dr. Firdaus, maybe you can help us out here. Why do we still have examination, final examination? Why?
I think for one of our ways, method to assess student accomplishment of the subjects understanding.
Yeah, you can read my mind. Definitely, you can read my mind. Yeah, that would be the first thing that comes to my mind, whether students will be able to achieve the learning outcomes that we wanted them to, right? So I agree totally with you. Yeah. So to ensure that the learning outcomes of the courses are being met, that's the first thing, right? And of course, for courses, especially in the universities, courses that has accreditation and that requires accreditation. So this examination will aid in the credentialing process. That means to ensure the integrity of qualifications of our university degree. Yeah, and of course, to preserve academic integrity and fairness, yeah, we want to make sure there is assurance that that student's individual work is indeed his or hers. So with final examination, especially with this face-to-face examination, that can be readily invigilated. Yeah, unlike if we carry out a coursework or alternative assessment, that may not be readily invigilated as what you can have with a face-to-face examination. But now, here comes the COVID-19, right? We had the lockdown during the COVID-19 pandemic. So as Dr. Firdaus mentioned at the very beginning, we need to transit to online environment, for teaching and learning. In fact, we still insist on having final examinations, isn't it? There are still courses conducting final examination. So when we are doing the teaching and learning through the online environment, and if we are going to carry out examination online, then we will have to invigilate online. Invigilation of remote exam takers. Of course, we use video conferencing facilities like Webex, Zoom, for invigilation, right? And in fact, some of our faculties, like I'm sharing this with you here, if you can see, this is the School of Mechanical Engineering. We have what we call as the OAP, our online assessment portal, right? Where we sync what the quiz in the e-learning. We sync with the quiz in the e-learning with this portal here. Yeah. So this is some of the things that we do when we carry out online examination. But of course, we also have the emergence of e-proctoring, or we call it online proctoring software, by e-proctoring software providers. Okay, so is it the same as what we have been doing? How different is it? Yeah, all these e-proctoring softwares, is it different? Those that are provided by these companies, is it different from what we have? So let us see further. Let us dwell further into this. Okay, so let's look at what is meant by e-proctoring. Let's go back to definition. Let's just say that. Okay, so what is e-proctoring? So the word proctoring means invigilation. The word proctoring means invigilation. Yeah, that's what you can see here. So when we say e-proctoring, that means it's online proctoring or online invigilation. So basically what we are doing right now, by having, for example, in SKM, the OAP, and then, but of course, the students do the exam through the e-learning, OAP, but still the medium of invigilation is still Webex that we use, okay? So this is basically what e-proctoring is. It's online proctoring or online invigilation. Right. So if you look at what e-proctoring or remote proctoring consists of, this is the difference between the face-to-face proctoring of free face-to-face invigilation with remote proctoring. So in remote proctoring or in e-proctoring, the proctor is not physically present. So the F2F is not there. Yeah? The proctor or the invigilator is not there. It's not physically present. Yeah? And there can be a utilization of a person, a live person, and or system to support the invigilation. But of course, these are all happening through online connectivity. Okay, and the behavior of the students who are taking the exam can be observed, can also be analyzed. So I think this is one of the major difference that between what we are practicing right now, where we have the invigilation through the WebEx, and then the students taking the quizzes through the e-learning. We do not do analysis of the test taker behavior. So this is something that's different from the softwares that is being offered by the online proctoring service providers, by the companies. Okay, so let's look at the type, the type of e-proctoring that's being offered by these online proctoring service providers. I would like to categorize them. I think in general, you can categorize them in these three categories. Okay, I call the first category as the type of on e-proctoring which is meant for high-stake exams. So high-stake exams, I'm referring to final examinations, where the percentage of grades will be, the contribution of the final exam could be 40%, could be 50%, could be, so this is high-stake examination. So I'm going to categorize this first category as high-stake exam. So if you were to look into or to study or to research more on the softwares of those online proctoring service providers, you'll find that this type of e-proctoring will involve live proctored launch. So that means there will be a person who's a real person who's going to check the identity of the test takers, and they're going to launch it, right? And then they're going to continue monitoring. They're going to continue monitoring the exam by the person, and then they can intervene if they find there are some suspicious behavior. And this will be accompanied with recording using artificial intelligence, advanced technology, and also this will accompany with reporting of incidences, of the behavior of the test takers, with complete report, comprehensive report. So this is what I would categorize as the first type of e-proctoring services provided by these companies, and this is meant for high-stake exams. And this, some companies call it Life Plus, Life Plus, right? And then the second category is for mid-stakes exam. That means if you are using this for a test, maybe that carries 20% of the course grade. And so if you have a test, this type of e-proctoring, this for mid-stakes exam, where again, there will be a person, a live proctored launch. Somebody will check, will verify the identity of the test takers, but he will not continuously monitor. The exam will be recorded using AI, but there will be a review of the recording and the reporting of it. So this is another category of services that may be provided by these online proctoring companies, services companies. So of course the last one, okay, for this second category, some call it the Review Plus, and for this third category, which I would categorize it to be used for low stakes exam. That means if you have a quiz, and the quiz is like 5% of the course grade. So you might want to consider this type of e-proctoring, where there will not be a live person to launch the exam, but there will be a software. So complete, reliance on artificial intelligence, to identify and verify the test takers, to record, and to, of course, then prepare a report, incident reporting. And this, some calls it as Record Plus. So you have Live Plus, Review Plus, and Record Plus. So these are the type. In general, you'll find this kind of services being offered by the online proctoring service providers. So we've looked at the category that can be used for high stake, mid stake, and low stake. So who are these providers? Who are these providers? There are quite a number of them. As I said earlier, the emergence of this in the academic world. So there is a number of e-proctoring software providers. Yeah. Here we can see examples of ProctorU, Examity, Proctorio. So these are some of the companies that offer the e-proctoring services. Yeah. But if you are looking for which service provider, that software provider that you want to perhaps consider for your institution, then you need to look at some features, the features of these software providers. Now, or the softwares, we saw earlier the categories that can be used. In general, all these fulfill those. But we also need to look at the features. And what are the main features that I'd like to, list here a few main features. First is the anti-cheating proctoring tools. Yeah, so the software must be able to provide these tools, the tools that can be used to verify, for example, to verify each test taker's identity. Yeah, and also be able to disclose non-visibility of the face, or the presence, and also be able to detect mobile phones, or detect another person present, and also to catch distracted eye movement. So these are some of the anti-cheating proctoring tools that you want to have them provide to you, as well as a secure browsing feature to eliminate any concerns about on-screen cheating. So this is the anti-cheating proctoring tools. The other feature, this is from our experience in UTM, is on the LMS integration, the learning management system integration. You want it to be able to seamless integration into our e-learning, so that it's convenient for the lecturers as well as it's convenient for the students. So the students just need to go to our e-learning, click on the normal quiz activity or test activity that they are used to do, and then it brings them straight away to this e-proctoring software, and they can start their exam. So we want that seamless integration into the existing LMS of your university or your institution. And of course, we would also want this analysis. I put there as insightful analysis, okay? Because you want to ensure academic integrity. So therefore, you want this software to be able to provide you with automated, instantaneous, and relevant results. So that is to provide you evidence with real-time validation. So these are the features that you want to look for when you are considering of using or engaging these software providers. So let's look at who has been using this. Okay. So I share with you here some of the work that we've looked at when we were considering on purchasing this e-proctoring software. So here, a list of institutions. So some of these are universities in America, and they are using ProctorU because ProctorU is from America. And there are some also using Proctorio. This is the university in Netherlands. And there are some universities who develop themselves the e-proctoring software. An example is the University of Oregon. So these are some of the institutions, and here I also include the number of exams that has been used using the e-proctoring software. Okay, let's look at our experience in UTM. I believe I can safely say that we are probably the first university. We're probably the first public university that have used the e-proctoring software, and we have used the services of ProctorU. And the date of installation was in July 2020. July 2020. And when we started using it, when the lecturers started using it in UTM in September 2020. So we've got about a year of experience, a year plus of experience using Proctoring in UTM, and the number of courses that have used Proctoring. But of course, we have only used the Record Plus. Yeah, we have only used the Record Plus. Now, another thing that we need to understand is these softwares are not cheap. Yeah, so there is a cost that comes with it. Remember the three categories that I shared with you earlier? So if I can go back to my slide and I show you these three categories. So if you are, using this type of e-proctoring, this may cost about $12 to $15. Okay, and this second type, which is this Review Plus, can be in the range between $8 to $12, depending on who is the provider. Yeah, so this is 12 to 15. This is 8 to $12. This Record Plus, which is just recording, can cost from $3 to $6. So of course, this is per person, per student, per test taker, per exam. Okay, that's the range that I gave you. But for the high-stake exam, because there is a live proctoring involved, so of course it's more costly, and it depends on the number of exams. It also depends on the number of students, just like this too, but it also depends on the duration of the exam. So this is costly. This is middle, a bit mid-cost. Here is perhaps a lesser costly option. And this is what we have been using in UTM. So we have been using this Record Plus in UTM, and 19 courses have been using it with a total of 1,200 or 1,200 students taking the test using the exam using the Proctoring. And these are some of the faculties that have utilized Proctoring in UTM. Yeah, so a total of 19 courses. Of course, all this data are from UTM Lead. If you want to use Proctoring, then you will need to apply to UTM Lead, and UTM Lead will then give you the approval for you to use the use the Proctoring. So these are UTM experiences. So we still, need more data perhaps so that we can do a good comprehensive study on the use of these e-proctoring softwares for examination. Okay, so in UTM, what do the students need to do? Yeah, so of course they need to register account as test taker with Proctoring. That's the first thing that they need to do, just like the lecturers. And then they would need to install the Proctoring extension. So this is the owl that represents Proctoring. And then they need to log into the extension. And on the quiz day, all they have to do is log into e-learning. That's why, I was talking about the seamless integration. So the students just need to go to e-learning and then click on the quiz, and they will be brought to Proctoring for the identification and then to continue with their examination. So simple as that. Yeah. And for lecturers as well, you need to register an account with Proctoring, and you need to inform UTM Lead, of course. And then to install the Proctoring extension, to create quiz, just like how we create quiz in the e-learning. Yeah. But it has to be under quiz. And then we have to create this. You have to create this quiz or test or exam in Proctoring also. So here, not so much on the, this is more on specifying what are your requirements, what browsers do you allow, what resources do you allow, yeah, the duration, and etc., etc. So this is more on the setting up of the quiz or the test or the exam in Proctoring. And then, of course, when this is an example of my e-learning. So you can, set up the test or the quiz or the exam, and then you need to activate Proctoring in e-learning. There is an icon there in e-learning. Just click on it, and it will appear here. So that is what you need to do as a lecturer. Okay. Now, problems. Okay, if you go through the literature, you will find that these are the same problems that I face, as well as what I read in the literature. Internet speed, there must be requirements for specific requirements or minimum requirements for download speed of 0.768 mega Mbps or the upload speed of 0.384 Mbps. Yeah, and of course, you need to have also the adequate data, yeah, and devices. You need to have the devices as well. So these are the technical issues that is normally faced, yeah, which I face the same as well. And of course, when you are preparing the exam questions should not contain any error, because you will not be able to interact with the students during the exam. Yeah, because when you're using the record class, for example, you do not interact with the students. It's just the AI and the students. Okay, so therefore the question should not contain any error, and you must set up correctly, because if there are resources that you allow them to use, yeah, then you must specify them in the setting up of the exam in the ProctorU. Now, can e-proctoring ensure academic integrity? Well, all universities have the responsibility to ensure that we maintain academic integrity. Yeah. So because the value and the viability of our courses and our university's reputation depend on the academic integrity. Yeah. So permitting cheating is unfair on students who are academically honest. So therefore, it is our responsibility to maintain academic integrity. So we have to do our very best. And we have to do our very best. Okay. So cheating, whether it is planned or is panic driven, it results in academic dishonesty, and this will create the burden on lecturers and administrators to prevent, to detect, and to hold accountable students who engage in academic dishonesty. This is no small task. I believe those in UTM remembers the chat episode that we had, yeah, a few semesters back, where where we had to conduct investigation, and then we had to call for the interviews, discuss with the students, and that took day and night, and it took days. Yeah, because you cannot just simply accuse our students. Yeah, you need to have evidence. You have to have evidence of this academic dishonesty. So it's not a small task. We've all been through that. Okay. So, but one contributor to academic dishonesty is the existence of a cheating culture. So we cannot have this perception of our university to have a culture of cheating, because if the university has that perception, then students will be tolerant of cheating. Yeah, students will be tolerant of cheating, but we must be clear. We must inform our students, yeah, what defines academic dishonesty, because sometimes they cheat without knowing that their behaviors are academically dishonest. Yeah, so therefore we must be clear. So we need to provide guidelines to lecturers and to students, and I believe UTM has done a good job in this. We have provided examination guidelines to lecturers and students, and we spelled out what is meant by academically dishonest. I think we have that form that we fill in, the statement of plagiarism and academic dishonesty. Students have to sign and submit before they take the exam. Yeah, so we have that in place. So I'm very happy with that. Right. So why do students cheat? Why do students cheat? Yeah. Of course, there are personal factors. Yeah. Their individual situation and circumstances, their prior experience. They may have done it before and they got away with it, and perhaps their level of competence, they don't they don't think they are competent enough to take the exam. So these are some personal factors. And of course, there are some involving the ethical principles where they may be influenced by their peers. They may be influenced if there is a perception of a cheating culture in the university. Yeah, so that's the reason why we cannot have that. And incentives to cheat. Yeah, for example, they feel that, oh, this is a killer subject. Yeah, this is a killer exam. They are not prepared for it, or they are enrolled in highly competitive programs like perhaps engineering. So they must pass this exam, right? And of course, the last I would list is the opportunity to teach. That means you have an examination, an online examination, but there is no proctoring. Yeah. So if they're taking an unproctored online examination, that's an opportunity to teach. Now, I found some literature that here, for example, shows. It says here a study showed that nearly 75% of students taking a specific major, I'm not mentioning what major here, they were surveyed at the university in Florida. 75% of the students perceive that it is easier to cheat in an online exam than in a face-to-face proctored exam. Okay, so these are some findings that has been published. And also here another report that says when students were asked if they were likely to cheat, 635 students surveyed indicated that they were more than 4 times as likely to cheat in an online class than in a face-to-face class. So therefore, if we provide that environment, the unproctored online examination, we're giving an opportunity for the students to cheat. Okay? And also because of this, there are some companies in the internet that, or some sites that in the internet that provides answers, services to the question and answers, provide answers to exam and papers, and students perceive that it is convenient. It is convenient, and this site keeps them anonymous, so people don't know who uses that site. They perceive that, so therefore this is also an opportunity to cheat. And this is I think some of the what we would have experienced ourselves, especially in the use of that check thing, right? So now, how do students cheat? First, through impersonation. That means they have another person taking the exam or writing a paper in one's place, right? Or they have external assistant, unauthorized aid from another person or from the internet, from this website that's providing answers to exam, or they copy someone else's answer, or they collusion. That means they exchange information between students. This is one of the major findings that we had from our experience. Students forming groups and exchanging information using perhaps WhatsApp or Telegram to do that, and using unauthorized notes during an exam or programming answers into an electronic device. So the question here is, can e-proctoring target all these illicit activities? Can these e-proctoring softwares target all these illicit activities? So for example, impersonation, with our system, we do not have a check of each person, but using this e-proctoring system, whether it is by a live person or by the artificial intelligence system, they are able to do that. They're able to check and verify the identification. And with the cameras that they have, students will not be able to receive external assistance. And then with the handphone mobile being detected, so again, they will not be able to pass information, or use unauthorized notes. So it seems that this e-proctoring system with artificial intelligence can prevent all this, right? So why not we use it? Okay. But what happened is there are concerns, and these are serious concerns that we need to take note of. Yeah, we need to take consideration of. These students find that this is an invasion of privacy and data protection. Okay, and data protection. So students have to surrender an amount of control over their devices when they install the extension. Yeah, and then their mundane actions. For example, some students like to read a question aloud, and this may be flagged as potential cheating. So these will all add stress to the students during the exam. So these are very serious concerns. If you go to the literature, you'll find a lot of publication on this issue of privacy, invasion of privacy. Now I'm going to share with you very quickly a study that was recently published in the Education and Information Technology in February 2021. So very recent. So you can go to this source here to read the paper. You can download the paper. This is a case study in UAE. Yeah, a survey was developed and distributed to a sample. They use survey. Yeah, and they also, that means they use a quantitative and a qualitative methods where they had a survey, and they also analyzed results from exam, which was proctored. So the survey was distributed to 106 students from IT major who had taken at least one e-proctored exam, and 21 online exams with 815 attempts were analyzed. Yeah, these are students who took these exams under the proctored test. Okay, so what were the findings that they obtained? Yeah, the finding shows that students were prepared technologically, of course, because they are from the IT major, so you do expect that from them, right? But even so, even though they are from the IT major, they still had technical difficulties with the internet connectivity, with the devices. This is the same experience that I have with my students. Okay. And of course, these are some of the environmental and psychological factors that were raised during the survey. Yeah, they found that there were feelings of stress and anxiety during the exam. These are some of the extracts from the discussion. Yeah. One student said, the feeling of being watched by a camera makes me anxious and nervous. Yeah. And the second student said, I can't force my family to stop moving or making noises. So the mother, maybe walking behind, taking the laundry or something. Yeah? So these are the stress. Yeah. So you see the concerns here are centered on being monitored via the webcam during the exam, and the destination of the recorded videos. Who keeps the videos? Where does it go to? Yeah, so these are some of the concerns raised by the students, especially on the seize control. Because once the system takes over, they take over the control of your computer, so they can look into their homes and observe their behavior and movement. So this contributes to the students' feeling of fear and stress. Yeah. And what was the finding on the use of the system, of the e-proctoring system? Most of them said it was below their expectation, maybe because they were coerced, or maybe they were asked to use it. Yeah, and most of the students were not satisfied with the e-proctoring experience and would not continue with it if given the option. Okay, but looking at the results, it shows that the students' academic performance were not affected, yeah, by the use of the e-proctoring tool. So we come back to the question, do we e-proctor or not to e-proctor? Okay, so proctoring is not the only thing. This is my answer to the question. Proctoring is not the only thing that prevents candidate from cheating. Okay, while technology may seem like a solution, yeah, but it is best to use multiple strategies to support academic integrity. Proctoring can be used, but it must be a part of an assessment system that is designed to be resistant to cheating. Yeah. Can we find alternatives to the traditional big online final exam? Can we look at authentic and alternative assessment options such as final projects, portfolios, oral exams, video presentation, and other evaluations like take-home exams or essays? Yeah. Can we consider alternative ways of assessing or verifying performance and designs assessments so that it is hard for the candidates to benefit from cheating or from collusion, such as having an open book exams questions, yeah, with complex questions as well. So to e-proctor or not to e-proctor, I'm going to end this talk with 3 critical factors. This is what I have gathered from the literature, yeah, and this is what I gathered from my own experience and the experience of others using this e-proctor in the university. Firstly, of course, the institution. We must be ready. We must have not good, but excellent infra facilities. Yeah, not just for the lecturers, but also for the students. They must have this because they are the one taking the exam, right? And for the students, yeah, for the students, I have this written in Latin, okay? So it says, the first one, primum genus mentis. That means the students need a first class mentality. Yeah, then they would see no reason to cheat. And the second line here, also in Latin, that means no one can give what he has not got. So you cannot be a thief. You cannot be a thief in an examination, a cheater in an examination. Yeah, no one can give what he has not got. And of course, the lecturers themselves have a role. They need to be able to they should have the capability, yeah, of being able to have effective assessment design. So these, to me, are the critical factors if we are going to use e-proctoring. Yeah. So to end this talk, to e-proctor or not to e-proctor, well, I feel that the road to e-proctoring is, yeah, a long way to go. We still have a long way to go, and it is definitely still under construction. So that is all from me today. So thank you very much. And Dr. Firdaus, back to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hayati. It's a lot of information that I've gained here, especially on the platform of eProctoring. I thought we only have Proctor.u, but it seems that you are listed 7th proctoring software here. We quite have, and it's very admirable, Doctor. You are very sharp on time. Okay, but we still have 7 more minutes for Q&A session. So there are a couple of questions in our Facebook chat. I will read the first one from Mr. Muhammad Aswadi. I read the question, Doctor. Thank you, Doctor. Doctor, what is your view for some segment of people who reluctant to pay attention to proctoring and academic integrity? I think there are some part of, maybe because I'm very new in academic. Okay, this is basically my first semester teaching. There seems to be people who feel that there are a lot of works to do when we applying e-proctoring as well as online invigilation and etc. So, Doctor, what are view that if there are some people who are a bit reluctant to pay attention to this aspect?
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Aswadi, for your question. As I have, mentioned earlier, that it is our responsibility, not just the university, but the lecturers, the administrators, even the students. Yeah? The honest students, they of course do not want to cheat, and they don't want others to cheat as well. So maintaining academic integrity is everybody's responsibility. It's everybody's responsibility. So it's not just for the courses with accreditation requirements, but it is our responsibility to ensure and to maintain academic integrity. So therefore, everybody has to be on board, because you do not want a perception of this university, has this culture of cheating. So that is a no, not in the academia. Just as we do not want, we say plagiarism is a sin, right? To us in the academic world. Similarly, we need to maintain and ensure academic integrity. It is just our responsibility to the students and to our stakeholders. So that would be
Yeah.
my answer.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think I strongly agree with that. I think I've conducted a couple of research for higher education, and I've read a couple of article on academic values, academic core values. Actually, I think one of the main what we call stakeholders that people always forget, we're not only responsible for the students, for the industry, for the university, for the parents, we also have responsibility towards the knowledge. Okay, ensuring integrity and honesty is basically upholding our responsibility towards the knowledge. Okay, we cannot simply say that people are good if in fact they are not good about the knowledge. And there is a bit one technical question, Doctor.
Mhm.
It's being asked that can we use e-proctoring for asynchronous exam? Can we use e-proctoring for asynchronous exam?
Okay, if you want to use e-proctoring for asynchronous exam, um, that means they are when you are saying asynchronous, they are going to leave that
Yeah.
that that platform. Yeah, um, I would not see that as a because when you want to have e-proctoring, you want to monitor. You
Yeah.
want to monitor. So if your exam is in an environment that requires monitoring, then you will go with the e-proctoring system. Yeah. If you're going to use exam, open book exam that doesn't require the the monitoring part. Yeah. So I do not see the need for it unless, again, if the exam requires monitoring of
Mhm.
the test takers, yeah, then you would want to engage or you want to use e-proctoring.
Okay.
Yes, that would be my answer.
I just wish that I had this session yesterday because yesterday we because yesterday we were asked to select our final exams method. They are
Okay.
asynchronous exams, and then we have proctoring, and then we have invigilation online, and etc. And happened that I chose asynchronous exam.
Oh, okay.
Okay, okay,
But
doctor.
there is a caution here. There is a caution here. There is a caution. I would like to caution. If you want to use this e-proctoring, the one that I'm talking about is the one that's provided by all these companies, yeah?
Yeah.
You need to ensure that you must have practice. You must have used it for
Yeah.
the low stake exam first, for quizzes.
Yes,
Do not immediately use it for your tests.
understood.
Yeah, do not immediately use for your test, especially not for final exam. Immediately, no, because there may be issues, technical problem, especially technical problems. So especially if you have many students, yeah,
Mm.
like the one that I did last week I had about 70 students. Okay, I had
Mm-hmm.
about 70 students. So out of that, many had technical issues. So if you do a low stake exam like a quiz, you can repeat it again. Yeah, so that if there are students who have problem, and you must, ensure fairness. Yeah, you must
Understood.
sure everybody is able to take that. And if everybody cannot take that, what is your alternative for those students who are not able to do it, to use it? So this has to be thought out thoroughly. So I wouldn't recommend to immediately use it for a test. I would recommend to use it for a quiz first. And if you have to repeat it a few times so that everybody is comfortable, yeah, with that. Yeah. And of course, also need the students' agreement to
Yeah.
be recorded, yeah,
Yeah.
and to be monitored like that. But yes, please do not. I caution, yeah, do not use it immediately. First time, use it for test. No, I would not recommend that at all. So try practicing it first, and ensuring that your test is well designed and that there are no errors in
Mm.
the exam, because you will not be able to interact with the students. Okay.
Okay. Okay, on that technical issue, doctor, because I think most of everybody have this problem. Okay, you do mention about technical issues implementing e-proctoring examination. There is one question here. So, do you have any suggestion on how to cater for this matter? I think even not for test, for class, we also have students who reporting if raining, they have poor connections, and they lost their audio or their visual. So, what is the way forward? How we can cater for these technical issues? It seems that out of our hand.
Okay, of course, firstly, we always, at the very beginning of the course, we would do a survey, right? We
Yeah.
would do an entry survey where we ask the students' readiness to use, online activities, yeah, to be able to take part in online activities. So we have that readiness survey done at the very beginning of the semester. So we
Mhm.
can use that information during when they are taking the test, so we can use that information. So we know these students are in a remote area, do not have internet connectivity, so we need to cater for these students. Okay, so we get that information from the entry survey that we do at the very beginning, the readiness survey. Now, during the exam itself, of course, they need to provide evidence. If they are able to, if in, from the survey, you know, they're able to take an online exam, but if they have problems, then they need to show evidence of that. Yeah? And of course, you need to have backup plans lah, plan B, plan C, plan D, to cater for this kind of cases.
Nice.
So, but since this is not the first time we are students are doing online examination, so they would be prepared. Yeah, and if they are not prepared, then the university, the school should assist the students. Yeah, the academic advisor has a role to play here, to make sure that are you able to do online examination. If you don't have, if you have problems, what are your problems, and maybe they can bring this up to the faculty and to the school, and the school may assist the students so that the students will be able to take the online exam. For example, asking them to take at a center, maybe at another university that's near their hometown, where they can go and take the exam, which has all the fulfilling all the technical requirements. So I think academic advisors also has a role to ensure that students with this kind of problems can be assisted for the online examination.
Okay, I think thank you very much, Doctor. It's very interesting sharing. I think being a new lecturer here, I look old, but I'm very new here. Okay, okay. This is my first semester teaching, so this is my first semester facing the final exam. So I hope that I do face the same problems for the quizzes and the midterm tests. So I hope that this is eye opening for me, and I believe that all of other listeners, audience also gain from this. So what I can conclude here, you have listed out all of the technical issues and then the features and then the platform that we can use. So, but the most important thing is for us, our instructor and lecturer itself, to prepare with a proper knowledge, with the technical knowledge, and familiarize with the technology that we have, so that the assessment can be smooth. Okay, and then you also highlighted and give some very concrete evidence of the use of e-proctoring and how students have the temptations, okay, temptations to cheat during the exams. Very important issues for us to look also. So before we end, so I'll give you maybe 2 minutes to conclude or to have final say to our respected audience, Doctor.
Right. Thank you so much, Dr. Firdaus. You did an excellent summary of what I have shared with you today, with everyone today. So we have this allocation of a Proctor U in UTM. Yeah. So please use it. Please use it. Try and use it, but create an environment that is comfortable for the students. Do not create the stress for the students. So if the first time they have problems, comfort them, and say, okay, don't worry, let's look into this, what we can do. So try to comfort the students so that you do not add to the stress of the exam. Doing the exam is already a stress, right? But all these other technology can also add stress to them. So try to create that environment for the students to uh, be able to use the technology with ease. Yeah, so you must be prepared, but use it. We have that facility. Yeah, use it, and perhaps you can get data, and you can even analyze, yeah, and publish something on it. So use it, because we have that. Other universities may not have it yet. I was at a workshop this weekend with I met a few heads of centers of teaching and learning from other universities, public universities as well as private universities. So I had a discussion with them on this e-proctoring, and I was getting feedback from them that they are just thinking about it. Some of them are considering it. Yeah, especially the private institution, they're considering it. So we are ahead. We are ahead. We have it in UTM. So use it. Use it. Yeah. But of course, again, reliance on the final examination as a big chunk of the course grades, that needs also to be you need to relook into that as well. Yeah. So but I believe the university as well as all of us are doing our best for our students, especially in terms of assessment, because this is important for ensuring academic integrity in the university. So try it. So my message, my take home message is try to proctor you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Hayati Abdullah. It's very interesting sharings. I've learned a lot. I believe that our audience also learned a lot. I think that's come to our end, ladies and gentlemen. With that last question, we have come to our end, the first plenary session. Okay, before we leave, this a small reminder for you. Okay, after this, we are going to have a break, and then we're going to continue our NALI 2021 at 2:30 p.m. with our second plenary session with the title of Scholarship of Teaching and Learning with Prof. Raja Maznah Raja Hussein. I think that's all from me. Until next time, thank you very much. Thank you, Doctor. Okay, thank you, everyone. Assalamu Alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, salam UTM junjungan bangsa kerana Tuhan untuk manusia. See you at 2:30. Okay, bye.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Firdaus. Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
Doctor.